You eat a turkey sandwich from the deli for lunch 3 times a week. You have a pastry with your morning coffee. You grab fried chicken for dinner when you're too tired to cook, and you drink orange juice thinking it's healthy. Your feet stay cold, your legs feel heavy by evening, your veins look angrier every month, and nobody has clearly told you that these everyday foods are quietly destroying the circulation in your legs and pushing you towards serious vascular disease, non-healing ulcers, or even amputation. I'm Dr. Serena Serrati, and if you're over 60, your legs simply cannot afford the wrong foods anymore. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 7 common foods that quietly clog your leg circulation and give you clear swaps you can start with your very next meal. Food 1 is processed deli meats loaded with sodium and preservatives. Food 2 is commercial baked goods and pastries full of trans fats and sugar. Food 3 is fried foods, especially fast food. Food 4 is high-sodium canned soups and frozen meals. Food 5 is sugary drinks, including fruit juices. Food 6 is margarine and hydrogenated oils. Food 7 is excessive red and processed meats. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to pull out of your kitchen and what to put in your cart instead, so your legs actually get the blood flow they deserve. Here's why what you eat has such a massive impact on leg circulation after 60. As you age, your blood vessels naturally stiffen a bit, and your arteries have already seen decades of wear and tear. Certain foods speed that damage up dramatically by building fatty plaque that narrows arteries, raising blood pressure, spiking blood sugar, and keeping your vessel walls inflamed. Your legs are the furthest point from your heart, so when your arteries are narrowed and stiff, they're the first to suffer. Think of these foods like pouring grease and sludge into pipes. At first the water still runs, but slowly the inside gets coated, the opening shrinks, and eventually the flow is choked off. Let's start with food 1. Processed deli meats. That turkey, ham, salami, bologna, oven-roasted chicken breast from the deli counter, plus prepackaged cold cuts, hot dogs, and many sausages, all fall into this category. They look lean and convenient, and low-fat labels make them sound harmless, especially compared to greasy fast food. But each slice carries a heavy load of sodium and preservatives that your blood vessels pay for every time you eat them. A single generous serving of deli meat can easily deliver half or more of your ideal daily sodium, and sometimes close to all of it. Sodium pulls fluid into your bloodstream and makes your arteries squeeze down, so the passage for blood gets narrower for hours after that sandwich. On top of that, nitrates and nitrites used to preserve color and flavor break down into compounds that irritate and damage the delicate inner lining of your vessels. It's like splashing a little acid on the inside of your arteries over and over again. In your legs, that means less blood can squeeze through to your muscles and your feet. You might notice heavy legs after lunch, colder toes when you get into bed, or more swelling around your ankles by evening, especially on days when you've had that healthy turkey sandwich. Over time, this constant constriction and irritation speeds up plaque buildup in the leg arteries and pushes you closer to peripheral artery disease without a dramatic warning. Here's the swap that protects your circulation while still giving you easy protein. Roast or bake chicken or turkey breast yourself once or twice a week, using herbs, pepper, garlic, lemon, and only a modest amount of salt. Then slice it thin for sandwiches and salads. Use canned salmon or tuna in water with no added salt, drain it, and mix it with a little olive oil, mayo, mustard, or yogurt instead of drowning it in salty dressings. Hard-boiled eggs, leftover home-cooked chicken or fish, and low-sodium canned beans smashed with herbs make excellent sandwich fillings too. If you absolutely need pre-cooked meat, choose low-sodium options with under about 200 milligrams per serving and labels that do not list nitrates or nitrites. Make this swap consistently for 2 to 3 weeks, and you're likely to feel less leg heaviness after meals, and notice your feet aren't quite as icy by night. Now food 2. Commercial baked goods and pastries. This includes donuts, muffins, Danish pastries, croissants, grocery store cakes and pies, packaged cookies, snack cakes, and many coffee shop treats. To you, it's comfort and routine. Maybe that muffin with coffee every morning feels like a little daily joy. To your arteries, it's a 1-2 punch of damaging fats and sugar that keeps sandpapering the inside of your blood vessels. Most commercial pastries are made with refined flour, lots of sugar, and unhealthy fats. Even when the label says 0 grams trans fat, many still contain oils that act like trans fats in the body, or use labeling tricks with tiny serving sizes. These damaged fats get built into the membranes of the cells that line your blood vessels, making them stiff and less able to expand when your legs need more blood. They also raise your bad cholesterol and lower your good cholesterol, feeding plaque growth. Then there's the sugar hit. A pastry made with white flour and sugar spikes your blood sugar very quickly. Those sugar molecules latch onto proteins in your vessel walls, creating sticky, rough patches, a process called glycation. Instead of a smooth glass-like surface, your arteries start to feel like fine sandpaper on the inside, and plaque loves to cling to that. In your legs, that means narrower arteries, colder feet, more cramping when you walk, and wounds on your shins or toes that seem to take forever to heal. Here's how to keep the comfort and ditch the damage. For breakfast, swap the donut or Danish for Greek yogurt topped with fresh or frozen berries, and a small handful of nuts or seeds. You get creaminess, sweetness from fruit, and crunch, but with protein, healthy fats, and fiber that stabilize blood sugar. Oatmeal cooked with milk or fortified non-dairy milk, topped with fruit and cinnamon, gives you warmth and satisfaction without battering your arteries. If you want something to chew, have a piece of fruit with a spoonful of natural peanut or almond butter instead of a cookie. Save pastries for rare occasions, not daily habits. And when you do have one, choose a smaller portion with less sugar and no hydrogenated oils. Make these swaps most mornings for a month, and you'll likely notice steadier energy in legs that don't feel like concrete blocks by late afternoon. Food 3 is fried foods, especially fast food. Fried chicken, French fries, fried fish, onion rings, egg rolls, crispy appetizers. If it's coming out of a deep fryer, your arteries are getting hit hard. When you're tired, lonely, or just don't feel like cooking, that crunchy, salty, hot food is incredibly tempting. But each fried meal sends a wave of toxic, overheated fats through your bloodstream that scratch and burn at the inside of your vessels. Oils in commercial fryers are heated over and over again, breaking down and becoming oxidized. That means they form reactive compounds that act like tiny chemical knives on the cells lining your arteries. On top of that, most fried foods are high in trans fats and saturated fats that raise bad cholesterol and fuel plaque buildup. Within a few hours of a fried meal, your blood actually becomes thicker and your vessels stiffer, making it harder for blood to push down to your feet and back up again. Your legs feel this every time. You might notice that after fried chicken and fries, you're more sluggish, your legs feel heavier, or your ankles puff up more by evening. Over months and years, regular fried foods drive more narrowing of the leg arteries, more cramps when you walk even short distances, and a higher chance that a clot or serious blockage will cut off blood to part of your leg. It's like taking already stressed pipes and pouring hot sludge through them again and again. The good news is, you can still have flavor and even crispness without hammering your circulation. Swap deep-fried chicken for baked or air-fried chicken seasoned with herbs, garlic, paprika, or your favorite spice blends. Instead of fries from a fast food bag, slice potatoes at home. Toss them lightly in olive or avocado oil, sprinkle them with herbs, and bake or air fry them until crisp. When eating out, scan the menu for grilled, baked, roasted, or steamed options, and train yourself to automatically skip anything described as fried, crispy, or breaded. Make this switch a rule for yourself for 3 to 4 weeks, and you're likely to feel less post-meal heaviness, less ankle swelling, and a little more stamina when you walk. Food 4 is high-sodium canned soups and frozen meals. These are especially tricky because they look modest and feel practical, perfect for someone living alone or with limited energy. You pop a soup in the microwave or a frozen dinner in the oven and dinner is done. No chopping, no fuss. But many of these products are sodium bombs that squeeze your arteries and flood your legs with extra fluid. A single can of regular soup can hold anywhere from 800 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium, and many frozen meals fall into the same range. For older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, heart problems, or kidney issues, a full day's ideal sodium intake is often around 1,500 milligrams or less. So that simple soup or frozen tray can wipe out your entire daily budget in one sitting. And that's before you add bread, cheese, or anything else. Inside your body, all that sodium pulls water into your blood vessels and tissues, raising your blood volume and pushing your blood pressure up. Your arteries respond by tightening, further narrowing the opening for blood. Over time, high sodium stiffens arteries, injures the kidneys, and makes your body hold onto fluid. In your legs, this shows up as swelling around the ankles, sock marks that dig into your skin, and a feeling of tightness and heaviness by evening, especially on days when you rely on these convenience foods. You don't have to give up easy meals, but you do need to change which ones you choose. When buying soup, look for low sodium or no salt added versions, and check that the sodium per serving is around 200 to 400 milligrams, not 900 or more. If a can has 2 servings and you know you'll eat the whole thing, double that number in your mind. For frozen meals, seek out options labeled heart-healthy or low sodium, again keeping under about 400 milligrams per meal if you can, and choose ones with plenty of vegetables and less sauce. When you have a little energy, cook a pot of simple soup from low-sodium broth, frozen or fresh vegetables, and beans or lean chicken, then freeze it in single-serve containers. Your own healthier frozen dinners. Cut your sodium this way for just 1 week, and you'll often see less ankle swelling, less tightness around your calves, and sometimes even better blood pressure readings. Food 5 is sugary drinks, including fruit juices. Soda, sweet tea, lemonade, fruit punch, energy drinks, sports drinks, flavored coffee beverages, and even that tall glass of orange juice you've always thought was healthy. They all belong here. For your arteries, liquid sugar is like dumping pure syrup into your bloodstream. It hits fast and hard, and your vessel walls take the blow. When you drink a sugary beverage, there's no fiber to slow anything down. Blood sugar spikes quickly, and that flood of sugar triggers glycation, where sugar molecules stick to proteins in your vessel walls and other tissues. Those sticky spots become inflamed and rough, like tiny patches of sand glued inside your arteries. Plaque sticks more easily, and over time your arteries become narrower and stiffer, especially in areas where blood flow is already slower, like the arteries in your legs. If you already have diabetes or prediabetes, sugary drinks are especially dangerous. They make your blood sugar harder to control, accelerate damage to the small blood vessels in your feet and toes, and greatly increase your risk of ulcers that don't heal and, eventually, amputations. Even 100% juice has this effect because it concentrates the fruit sugar without the protective fiber. Your intention is healthy, but your circulation pays the price. The swap here is powerful and surprisingly simple. Choose water as your main drink, plain or with slices of lemon, lime, cucumber, or a few berries for flavor. Drink unsweetened tea, hot or iced, and black coffee or coffee with just a splash of milk instead of sugar-laden coffee drinks. If you love carbonation, go for sparkling water without added sugar and add your own twist of citrus. If you absolutely must have sweetness, use a small amount of a non-sugar sweetener, but focus on gradually retraining your taste buds away from very sweet drinks. Commit to cutting out sugary beverages for 2 full weeks, and most people notice steadier energy, less bloating and heaviness in their legs, and, over time, better blood sugar numbers if they're monitored. Food 6 is margarine and hydrogenated oils. For years, you were told margarine was better than butter, and that vegetable shortening was a smart choice for baking. You were trying to protect your heart by avoiding cholesterol. But the problem is that many margarines and shortenings packed in something even worse: trans fats that poison your vessel lining and stiffen your arteries from the inside. Partially hydrogenated oils are created by forcing hydrogen into vegetable oils, turning a liquid into a semi-solid to make it spreadable and stable on the shelf. This process creates trans fat molecules that your body doesn't handle well. When they're built into the membranes of your endothelial cells, those cells become rigid and can't produce nitric oxide properly, a key chemical that tells your arteries to relax and open. Trans fats also raise bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, and drive inflammation. Even though many brands have reduced trans fats, labeling rules let products with very small amounts per serving claim 0 grams trans fat. So if you eat multiple servings, you still get a meaningful dose. Crackers, microwave popcorn, certain baked goods, and older-style margarines can still be culprits. For your legs, that means vessels that can't widen when you walk, more plaque buildup, and greater risk of blockages that threaten your mobility and independence. The swap is both simple and powerful. Replace margarine and anything with partially hydrogenated oils on the label with extra virgin olive oil for most of your cooking and for drizzling on vegetables or bread. Use avocado oil for high-heat cooking, and if you enjoy the taste of butter, use a small amount of real butter rather than margarine. It doesn't contain trans fats. Go through your pantry and check ingredient lists. If you see partially hydrogenated, that product should not go back into your cart. Make this shift and, over a few weeks, your endothelial cells can function better, your vessels can relax more, and your legs get more of the blood they've been starved of for years. Finally, Food 7. Excessive red and processed meats. This includes beef, pork, lamb eaten daily or in large portions, plus processed meats like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and cured meats that show up at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Red meat has been a staple in many households for decades, and giving it up completely can feel unthinkable. The goal isn't zero. It's getting off the daily heavy red meat treadmill that's constantly feeding inflammation and plaque. Red meat is high in saturated fat, which pushes your LDL cholesterol up and feeds plaque deposits. It also contains heme-iron and certain compounds that, when broken down by your gut bacteria, produce TMAO, a substance strongly linked to artery-clogging plaque in cardiovascular events. Processed meats pile on more damage with high sodium, nitrates, and other chemicals that injure vessel walls and raise blood pressure. In the arteries to your legs, that means thicker, stickier blood, more inflamed vessel walls, and plaque that grows faster and narrows the passageway. Over time, this can show up as calf pain when you walk that eases when you rest, colder feet, and doctors warning you about poor circulation or blockages in your leg arteries. It nudges you closer to needing stents, bypass surgery, or worse if nothing changes. Here's how to protect your circulation without banning red meat for life. Limit red meat to once or twice per week and keep portions around the size of your palm, not half the plate. Choose lean cuts trimmed of visible fat and avoid charred, burnt meat. On other days, replace red meat with fish, especially fatty varieties like salmon, sardines, or trout, at least twice a week. Their omega-3 fats are actually beneficial for your vessels. Fill in the rest of your protein with beans, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, and skinless chicken or turkey. Follow this pattern for a month, and many older adults notice lighter legs, better walking endurance, and, over time, improved cholesterol and inflammatory markers when labs are checked. Now, let's turn this into a simple, doable plan. Today, look through your fridge, freezer, and pantry and identify which of these 7 foods show up the most in your routine. Maybe it's the deli meat and the canned soup. Maybe it's pastries and sugary drinks. Maybe it's fried chicken and nightly red meat. Write down your top 2 or 3 offenders honestly, without blaming yourself. These foods were marketed as normal and convenient. Next, choose specific swaps that fit your life. If you live alone and don't love cooking, focus on low-sodium canned beans, canned salmon or tuna in water, pre-washed salad mixes, frozen vegetables, rotisserie chicken, skin removed and paired with lower sodium sides, and low-sodium frozen meals. If your budget is tight, build meals around beans, lentils, eggs, oats, and frozen vegetables, which are cheap and circulation-friendly. If you have dental issues, favor soft foods like yogurt, cooked cereals, soft-cooked vegetables, stews, baked fish, and scrambled eggs. Then commit to 30 days of seriously reducing these 7 foods and using the swaps you've chosen. Aim for progress, not perfection. If you used to drink soda every day, getting down to once a week is already a big win. If you ate red meat daily, cutting to twice a week is a big step. Track your legs each week with a simple system. Rate how cold your feet feel in the morning from 1 to 5. Rate how heavy your legs feel by evening from 1 to 5. Note yes or no for ankle swelling, and jot down how far you can walk before your calves start to cramp. This content is for education, not a replacement for personal medical care. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, peripheral artery disease, kidney disease, a history of heart attack or stroke, or you're on blood thinners or blood pressure medications, talk with your physician or a registered dietitian as you make these changes so they can tailor advice to your medications and conditions. But the core message doesn't change. These 7 foods are bad news for circulation, and reducing them is one of the most powerful, controllable steps you can take. Let's quickly review your marching orders for your legs. Food 1. Processed deli meats. Mostly out. Swap to home-cooked poultry, canned fish, eggs, and low-sodium options. Food 2. Commercial pastries. Cut way back. Swap to yogurt with berries, oatmeal, and whole fruit with nuts. Food 3. Fried foods. Replace with baked, grilled, roasted, or air-fried versions. Food 4. High-sodium soups and frozen meals. Shift to low-sodium and homemade where possible. Food 5. Sugary drinks and juices. Replace with water, unsweetened tea, coffee without sugar, and sparkling water. Food 6. Margarine and hydrogenated oils. Replace with olive oil, avocado oil, and small amounts of real butter. Food 7. Excessive red and processed meats. Bring them down to small portions once or twice a week and fill the rest of your week with fish, beans, and poultry. These 7 foods are quietly clogging your leg circulation meal after meal, week after week. But you are not powerless. You can change what's on your plate far more easily than you can change your age or your genetics. Check your kitchen today, make your swap list, and start with your very next meal. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Dr. Serena Serrati, Senior Health, for more practical, science-based ways to protect your legs, your circulation, and your independence. Every meal either feeds your circulation or strangles it. Choose the ones that keep you walking, keep you steady on your feet, and keep you living life on your own terms.